kind of the mystery of Japan, the way they've been able to come into this tournament and perform so well.
We're here to win gold for USA. There's no other reason that we're here, and he's done a really good job with that messaging to the team.
But yeah, I think, obviously getting to that stage and losing, I think is something that's fueled a lot of these guys to come out here and play in this.
Left a sour taste in your mouth. You want to be a part of it the next one and bring it home.
東京ドームで大谷翔平が世界を驚かせました。 WBC 開幕戦、日本対台湾。大谷は満塁ホームランを含む4打数3安打5打点の大活躍。日本は7回コールドで台湾を下し、大会連覇へ向けて最高のスタートを切りました。そしてこの活躍にアメリカが震えています。思い起こせば3年前、WBC 決勝の最終回、マウンドには大谷翔平、打席にはチームメイトでもあるマイク・トラウト。大谷が投じた鋭いスイーパーがトラウトのバットをかいくぐり、空振り三振。アメリカは3対2で日本に敗れ、その瞬間から3年間、アメリカ野球界の中に一つの感情がくすぶり続けてきました。2026年の WBC、アーロン・ジャッジ、ポール・スキーンズ、タリク・スクーバル、ローガン・ウェブ、かつて参加を見送っていた、あるいは参加できなかったスター選手たちが、今回は自ら出たいと手を挙げています。なぜ彼らは今、USA 代表を選んだのか、そしてなぜ、これほどまでに何としても勝ちたいという空気がチーム全体に漂っているのか。まずはその大谷の今日の活躍とアメリカからの反応をご覧ください。大谷翔平、 WBC 開幕戦で世界を驚かせる。2025年3月6日、東京ドームで行われた WBC1 次ラウンド、日本対台湾。大谷翔平は1番 DH で先発出場し、4打数3安打5打点の大活躍でチームを牽引しました。初回、台湾先発の初球148キロ直球を叩くと、打球速度 117.1 マイル、約188キロという強速の二塁打。ベンチが大きく沸いたこの一打で、大谷は早速お茶立てポーズを初披露しました。そして2回、ワンアウト満塁の場面で外角のカーブを振り抜くと、打球は右翼スタンドへ飛び込む満塁ホームラン。この一打が呼び水となり、日本はそのイニングだけで3大国際大会最多となる10得点を記録。試合は7回コールドで幕を閉じました。お立ち台に上がった大谷はこう話しています。本当にいいゲームで、いいスタートが切れたので、本当に応援のおかげだなと思っています。ありがとうございます。満塁弾についてはこう振り返りました。打った瞬間、入るなと思ったので、とにかく先制点をどうしても取りたいなという気持ちで、外野フライでもいいので1点まず取りたいなと思ってました。この活躍にアメリカでも大きな反応が広がっています。 MLB アナリストのベン・バーランダー氏は自身の X にこう綴りました。アメリカでこれを見て早起きをした一人一人がそれ価値あるよと言うだろう。未明に放送された FOX スポーツの中継では実況のスティーブン・ネルソン氏が声を上げます。大谷が強振した、入った、大谷、やっぱり東京ドームは大熱狂だ。解説のホセ・モタ氏も興奮冷めやらぬ様子でこう続けました。重要な局面を求める翔平ですが、重要な局面の方から翔平の方にやってきているかのようです。母国でまたも仕事をやってのけた。さらにモタ氏は大谷の技術をこう絶賛しています。騙されそうになったようだが、彼は騙されない。軌道を読んで変化球を捉える能力を持っているのです。もちろんそれに加えて彼は力強いのです。ネルソン氏もこう締めくくりました。大事な場面で活躍できる彼の能力は本当に素晴らしいですね。重要な局面を求める翔平に重要な局面の方からやってくる。これほど大谷翔平という選手を言い表した言葉はないかもしれません。 USA 代表の選手たちが口を揃えて意識するのもまさにこの選手です。ではそのアメリカがどんな思いでこの大会に臨んでいるのか。まずはこのチームを作り上げた指揮官マーク・デローサ監督のコメントからです。あの決勝の敗北を間近で経験したデローサ監督、最初に語ったのはやはりあの夜の記憶でした。ではご覧ください。
Expectations for the tournament, is it championship or bust?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, respect for everybody, fear nobody, kind of old football mentality. But yeah, definitely last time in 2023 walking away after the whole Trout Ohtani thing, 3-2. It's something I've thought about for a long time and took into account when putting a roster together. So yeah, I think the expectation is to win the whole thing.
You're now back at the World Baseball Classic for the second time. Can you reflect on the growth of the game globally since the last one, and where you think the next few years will take the game internationally?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, from the United States perspective, I give a ton of credit to Latin American countries, their passion, their fans, kind of the mystery of Japan, the way they've been able to come into this tournament and perform so well. I think it's kind of forced the hand to get guys like this in the room. To be honest with you, I think there's a fear of missing out on the United States side. And my talks in recruiting the players were a heck of a lot different this time around than in 2023. Yeah, I just feel like there's been a tidal wave of emotion kind of wanting to win this thing. And I think guys like Logan, guys like Paul Skeens, from a pitching perspective, were very adamant about wanting to be here. So, yeah, I kind of lean into that, the whole Trout Ohtani experience. And then the World Series this year, going 7 games with Toronto and LA. I think baseball's at just on top right now.
Mark, last time around 2023, you talked about your team players need to experience the game the same way that some of the Latin American players did. Is this something you've repeated to this set of players this time around as well?
Yeah, no doubt. I think, and Logan could probably speak to this as well. For a 162 season, I don't think you can lean in like that and be so passionate. I just think you'd run out of gas mid-season. But for a 7-game blast, you can let it eat. Go back to calling Paul Skeens. And, I had this whole elaborate pitch laid out that I was going to give him to try and woo him to the team. And he's like, D-Ro, save it. He's like, I'm doing this for every serviceman and woman that protects our freedom. And I'm like, God, all right, I need to start thinking like that, Like, he changed my mindset on the whole thing. But there's something very powerful about it.
さて、いかがでしたか？この大会を勝ちたいという感情がまるで津波のように押し寄せている。この言葉が2023年からの3年間でチームがどれだけ変わったかを物語っています。大谷翔平との決勝の敗北はアメリカにとってただの負けではなかった。参加しないと取り残されるという意識の変化を引き起こすほどの衝撃をアメリカ野球界全体に植え付けた瞬間だったのです。そしてデローサ監督が明かしたスキーンズとのやり取りがこのチームのただならぬ空気を象徴しています。続いてはカル・ローリー選手のコメントを見ていきましょう。昨シーズン、捕手でありながらア・リーグの本塁打王に輝いた。今 MLB で最も勢いのある打者の一人です。そんな彼も2023年の決勝をソファに座って友人と見ていた一人でした。まるで運命みたいに全てが完璧に揃った瞬間と語ったローリーは、今回その舞台に立つ側になりました。捕手として投手陣のボールを受けることになる彼が感じた圧倒とは一体どんなものだったのでしょうか。ではご覧ください。
Here with Cal Raleigh, going to be behind the plate with so many big arms of this Team USA squad. What's going through your mind day one as you guys get ready?
Just kind of in awe walking that locker room with that many good players in one place and guys I grew up watching. And it's kind of weird that we're all on the same team, but in a way it's really cool and really special and really excited.
Well, you watch Mark DeRosa every morning on MLB Central. We know he's good on TV. How was he during the big speech?
Yeah, it was great. I think, I don't think it takes much to get these guys ready to play for Team USA in this kind of event. I mean, he could have said anything. I think guys have been ready. So, but he was great. He had a great speech and was very direct to the point, and we're ready to go.
Has he talked to you at all about how much you'll actually catch the percentage of games?
No, I mean, I'll do whatever he says. So, I mean.
What about lineup?
I don't care. whatever it takes to win.
So if Aaron Judge is hitting behind you or you're hitting behind Aaron Judge, you don't really mind?
No, I don't care. I'm just glad to be here. So glad to be here and I want to win. So whatever it takes.
Did you watch the finale of Shohei versus Mike Trout, the last World Baseball Classic? What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I was here watching with my buddies on the couch and it was amazing. I mean, it was like the stars lined up perfectly. So I'm sure we'll get a few more moments like that this time through and it'll be a lot of fun.
さて、いかがでしたか？まるで運命みたいに全てが完璧に揃った瞬間。ローリーは大谷対トラウトの打席をそう表現しました。感動した側の人間が今度は自分がその舞台に立つ側になっている。ここにいられるだけで嬉しいという言葉の裏に 3年間積み上げてきた思いが感じられます。続いてはタリク・スクーバル投手のコメントを見ていきましょう。昨季サイ・ヤング賞を受賞した現在のアメリカ投手陣を代表するエースタリク・スクーバル。ローリーがファンとしてあの打席を見ていたのとは対照的に、スクーバルは投手としてプロとして大谷のスイーパーを分析していました。球速89マイル、しかも横に鋭く曲がる、その球に感じた衝撃が今回の参加への原動力になっています。彼がアメリカ代表に加わったことはこのチームの本気度を象徴する出来事と言えます。ではご覧ください。
Here with Tarek Skubal, one of the many aces for Team USA. That's kind of exciting, right? When you think of the other names in this rotation, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to learn, watch them do their thing, play catch, throw bullpens, all that stuff, and obviously take the mound. You know, I'm excited to just be in their corner, and whatever, you know, resource I can be for these guys, I'm going to try and do that.
How about the fact that you've had some wars with some of the biggest hitters in all of baseball, and now they're on your team? What is that like to see Judge and Bobby Witt and Cal Raleigh walking around?
Yeah, awesome. It's I've always compared this to kind of like an all-star game, but we actually get to come together and spend a couple weeks together, and those are where those relationships are going to be built, and the communication between, you know, why they do what they do or why they don't do some things. You know, I think that's going to be a ton of fun, and we'll see how much info I can get from some of these hitters and kind of scouting report stuff. I'm sure that stuff will stay confidential, but it's going to be fun to play alongside them.
I'd like to ask this question to all you guys. Where were you when Ohtani faced Trout in the WBC final 3 years ago, and did that moment have anything to do and impact your motivation to play for Team USA this go-around?
Yeah, I remember watching it. I don't remember exactly where I was, but I remember watching it for sure, and it's one of the best sweepers I've ever seen, you know, and it was like 89 with, you know, a good left-hand turn at like 14 inches, which is insane. But yeah, I think, you know, obviously getting to that stage and losing, I think is something that's fueled a lot of these guys to come out here and play in this classic, so it'll be a ton of fun.
And finally, it's an all-star roster for sure, but an all-star roster in the coaching staff. From D-Row to Sean Casey to Andy Pettit to Michael Young, there's some names. Brian McCann, what do you think of the staff they put together?
I'm super excited. You know, we had a meeting, they go over the names, and you're like, damn, you know, and I'm excited to get to, you know, talk to Andy Pettit more, obviously, with his career and what he's been able to do in the regular season, but also the postseason, you know, where games mattered the most. It seemed like he always performed the best. So I'm excited to pick that. You know, Kershaw being a part of this is going to be great, left-handed. So I'm super excited in that aspect, too. Just two of the best lefties to play the game, and me trying to aspire to be those guys.
さて、いかがでしたか？球速89マイル。しかも横に鋭く曲がる。あれは本当に信じられないボールだった。現役のサイ・ヤング賞投手がそう言い切る大谷のスイーパー。プロ中のプロが技術的に驚嘆するほどの球を決勝の最終打席で投げられた。その悔しさと敬意が入り混じった感情がアメリカの投手陣をこの大会に駆り立てた原動力の一つになっています。続いてはポール・スキーンズ投手のコメントを見ていきましょう。2024年にメジャーデビューを果たした初年度から圧倒的な投球でリーグを席巻し、昨季ナ・リーグサイ・ヤング賞を受賞した今最も注目を集める若手投手ポール・スキーンズ。デローサ監督が長いプレゼンを用意したのに彼は一言で断ったと語ったあの電話の主がこのスキーンズです。なぜ彼は長い説明も聞かずに即答できたのか、その理由がこのインタビューで明らかになります。ではご覧ください。
Here with one of the aces for Team USA, Paul Skeens. How does that sound? You're in a star-studded rotation for the squad.
Yeah, it could be worse. It's pretty cool, you know, getting to see everybody do the team stretch, to just, you know, kind of look left and right and see who's in the stretch with me. It was pretty darn cool. And then, you know, seeing everybody wearing the same thing, USA. It's hard to put into words.
This means a lot to you, and I can tell. And I remember when you announced on MLB Central that you were going to be part of Team USA, why it's so special. For those at home that don't know your story as to why you care so much about wearing this uniform, tell it again.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I care because I'm from America. I love America. You know, I've seen the WBCs in the past, and there's no bigger stage or no greater honor than wearing USA across your chest. I think another one is, you know, I went to the Air Force Academy for 2 years, wanted to serve. I was intending on serving. Ended up transferring out to LSU and won a national championship there and did some cool stuff there. But there was, a big part of me that was, fully intent on serving in the military, as a career after college. And so this is, it's not serving, but, this is a pretty close second.
To see the passion that comes from your manager, Mark DeRosa, for this, how much more motivation does a man like that, who spoke to you, I didn't hear the speech, but what kind of impact can someone like him have on stars like you?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job reminding us why we're here. Obviously, they did a great job putting together the roster. I don't think it's that hard to get people to say yes to playing for USA. But D-Row knows what the focus is. Everybody on the staff knows what the focus is, and that was really the message is we're here to win gold for USA. There's no other reason that we're here, and he's done a really good job with that messaging to the team.
Where were you the moment Ohtani faced Trout 3 years ago? Do you remember?
I couldn't tell you. I was in college. I've seen it so many times since then. I can't even remember if I was watching it or where I was watching it, but I've seen the at-bat, run through, and especially recently as the WBC's gotten closer. But I was at LSU probably watching the game, but I couldn't pinpoint exactly where I am.
After that moment, to bring a championship back to USA for the World Baseball Classic, what would that mean to you in this early stage of your incredible career?
This is the biggest stage I've played on, and it's the coolest, motivation, and the coolest thing that we're playing for is winning gold for our country. Winning a World Series is the goal every year, but playing in an international tournament where every country in the world is represented, and being able to be on top of that's pretty cool.
さて、いかがでしたか？軍人になるつもりだったという告白は、このインタビュー全体でも最もインパクトのある一言でした。野球選手としてではなく、アメリカ人として国に奉仕するという感覚がスキーンズの根っこにある。だからこそ、デローサ監督の長いプレゼンを一言で断り、軍人のために出場すると即答できたのでしょう。続いては、ローガン・ウェブ投手のコメントを見ていきましょう。スキーンズが即断した参加とは対照的に、ウェブの参加実現には3、4年という年月がかかっています。外から2023年大会を見ていた悔しさを、彼はどんな言葉で語るのか。あの敗戦は後味が悪かった。その一言に込められた感情の重さをぜひ受け取ってください。では、ご覧ください。
How different is it to be wearing this uniform to compare when you play for your team in the majors and now?
I would just say it's an honor to represent the country, my country. All right, let's do this thing, and it's kind of feels like a dream. Just excited to share the clubhouse with these guys and go win 7 games.
This has been like a 3-4 year recruitment of him. I tried to get him in 23. We were on the phone at length, and then San Francisco jumped in and gave him a huge extension, so he kind of backed out. So I've been slow playing getting him on this roster for a while.
Yeah, just watching the last one, even though I wasn't part of it, I felt like I was, these guys are representing. Left a sour taste in your mouth. You want to be a part of it the next one and bring it home.
さて、いかがでしたか？まるで自分もそこにいるような気持ちだった。外から見ていたからこそ、その悔しさは純粋でした。3、4年の間、ずっとその思いを抱えながら待ち続けたウェブが、ようやくこのチームにいる。7勝して優勝するという言葉に、その年月分の重みが込められているように感じます。続いては、このチームの顔、アーロン・ジャッジのコメントです。デローサ監督が最初から参加に前向きだった野手の柱と語り、チーム全体を引き寄せる磁石になったと評したのがジャッジです。今は胸の USA の3文字だけと言い切った彼の言葉に、このチームが向かっている場所が凝縮されています。では、ご覧ください。
Aaron, the first time that we met was in the Tower of London in 2019. And we were there for the MLB reception before the London series, as you will no doubt recall. And I spoke to you in the shadow of this 11th century castle. and you had just learned a bit of history about the building, which I don't know if you'll remember, but you had just learned some of the features of the building, including that just above you were the oldest toilets in London. And we had a great laugh about what a silly thing this is. But more seriously, on that note, 7 years later on, the game has grown globally significantly. Events like this mean so much more. Can you talk about what it means to help grow the game internationally and the changes that you've seen in this time since you first came over?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's been the coolest part. All of us have kind of been talking about is just you're seeing the best of the best get a chance to represent for their country. And I think the coolest thing is when we had that London series, I know Kyle has played in it as well. It's just you're going over to a new country, probably not as familiar with baseball as they are in the U.S., and just seeing people wear your jersey. You see little kids running around, they want your autograph, they got a bat in their hand, a ball in their hand. That means the world. That's what it's all about, is growing this game that we love and, trying to spread it to maybe some countries that don't get a chance to see us as much. So it's going to be a fun event, especially coming off the Olympics.
Is it weird to be a home team in this ballpark where you've had some painful, playoff memories? And how do you enjoy hitting in Dyken Park?
Love hitting here. It's a great park to hit, especially those little Crawford boxes in left. That's always nice, and the short wall in right. No, it's a great place to play. Yeah, like you said, I had some tough memories here, had some good memories here, and it's part of it. But now, getting a chance to wear the red, white, and blue, we're going to have a lot of great memories in here, I think.
Is there maybe weakness is the wrong word to use, but is there an area where you say, okay, this is maybe where we need to focus a little bit more on as far as not being having an advantage?
No, I like our lineup up and down, and the guys we have on the bench. It's just incredible. You have a guy like, with the outfield, you have a guy like Roman Anthony coming off the bench for you. You have a guy like Ernie Clement, postseason leader in hits. What he did this last postseason. It's just, you can kind of plug him in anywhere. It's going to be incredible. And I think what's going to help us out a lot, I think one of our strengths is, if I don't get the job done, I know I got Schwartz and Kyle right behind me to finish it up, and, so on and so on. So I think just us feeding off each other, trusting each other, not trying to just be the one guy that goes up there and does the job. It's like, hey, let's lean into each other, and, as a team, we're gonna take care of business.
さて、いかがでしたか？今は胸の USA の3文字だけ。これほど潔い言葉はありません。ジャッジがそう言い切れるのは、誰か一人がヒーローになる必要はないという、このチーム全体への信頼があるからでしょう。今回は USA 代表の選手、首脳陣が語る WBC 出場を決めた理由についてご紹介しました。監督の津波のように押し寄せる感情、スキーンズの軍人のために出場する、ウェブの後味が悪かった、スクーバルのあのスイーパーは信じられなかった、そしてジャッジの今は胸の USA だけ。言葉はそれぞれ違っても、全員の原点には一つの記憶があります。2023年、大谷翔平が投じたあの1球、あの瞬間がアメリカ野球を変え、このチームを作ったのだとすれば、大谷翔平はドジャースのユニフォームを着ながら、ライバルである USA 代表を組み上げた見えない設計者でもある。そう言えるかもしれません。2026年の WBC、果たしてアメリカは3年越しのリベンジを果たすのか。そして大谷翔平との再戦は訪れるのか。今から目が離せません。この動画が良かったと思っていただけましたら、ぜひ高評価とチャンネル登録をよろしくお願いします。コメント欄で今回のインタビューで最も印象に残ったコメントは誰のものでしたか？ぜひ教えてください。最後までご視聴いただきありがとうございました。